I turned that off. I turned it off. I was in my Instacart slash Bloodmobile slash DoorDash slash Therapymobile. I had been listening to this Italian comedian Del Arte play about Italian aliens and who spotted it. But now the rain was coming down and I had a delivery. I was doing Uber Eats. And I was singing in my car. I had taken singing lessons from someone who the only song they knew was You Give Me Fever. It was a very limited vocal class. You give me fever, bum, bum. You give me fever, fever! And I was attracted to it because I had just come off a bout of COVID where I had a bad fever in the rain. The rain just was hitting the street the way Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier would hit each other. The rain was pounding the street the way a couple would pound each other after not seeing each other for a year because they were both in a federal prison, not a prison. A prison is something completely different, and I don't want to get into it here, but the rain, I couldn't even describe it to you. When I was doing an Uber Eats, I had to bring a Reuben across town, and it wasn't what you're thinking. It wasn't pastrami and sauerkraut, Swiss cheese. It was a guy named Reuben. I had to bring a guy named Reuben across town. Guy named Reuben across town, and he was in the back seat. He was nervous. Where you taking me to? He kept saying. I said, it's hard as seeing out of this car, Reuben. I got a bad wiper. I got a bum wiper. He says, what are you talking? I go, man, my windshield wipers aren't working. And sure enough, they weren't. I should have taken it in to Harry the mechanic, but Harry had fallen off a ladder and fractured his ankle in 35 different places. I said, Harry, how can you be that specific about how many fractures? And he said, that's what they told me at the hospital. I said, noted. So I couldn't take it into Harry, and Reuben was in the back seat. I said, Reuben, I have nothing to do with this. Yeah, but you don't want to rip me out of my house. It's because you were ordered. I have to, as an Uber Eats driver, you have to get the item and bring it to someone. Who ordered me? It says here your ex-wife, Dolores. And the rain, as soon as I mention the wet rain, as soon as I mention the name Dolores, the rain came down twice as fast, then 3 times as fast, then 4 times as fast, then 5 times as fast, then 6 times. And I don't have to keep saying this. You see the increments. It was coming down faster and faster, and I couldn't see in front of me. And I kept hitting garbage pails. I kept hitting errant bicycles that had been abandoned. There was a tremendous water flow. Tremendous water flow in the street. I was in California, in Los Angeles, as you know, and we've been having atmospheric rivers coming. The rain has been so relentless. I look back at Reuben, and he just had a look of despair. Please don't take me to Dolores, he would say. And I'm like, Reuben, I got my marching orders from Uber Eats, and hopefully Dolores is a good tipper. She ain't gonna give you shit. I said, good. Look, Reuben, I do what I'm told here by the app. Why do you listen to apps? He said. The rain started beating on my car the way my children beat on my car when I left them for good. And I left them near an industrial recycling plant. And I said, you'll be all right, I said to them as I tossed them one ham, cheese, and salami sandwich with some pimento and pickle loved that kind of thing. It was for the three of them, and I never saw them again. I always would think of that sandwich. It was delicious. I never thought of the kids, but I always thought of that sandwich, you know. Reuben said to me, "You're a heartless bastard." And I said, "We're here." And there was a woman out in front with a sign that said, "Deliver Reuben to me or I'll cut your balls off and stick him down your throat and enter you in a very difficult chess tournament." Now I understood the first part. You know, it was a threat. Cut your balls off, stick him down your throat, but enter you into a difficult chess tournament. First of all, I enjoyed chess. I enjoyed the challenge of it. I have a mathematical mind and I like to see patterns. So, Reuben, you're in luck. And I sped away from this crazed lunatic, and I was hoping to get a ping on my phone saying I was entered into a difficult chess tournament. The ping never came, but my balls were stuffed down my throat immediately. By Reuben, who jumped into the front of the car with the Bowie knife, or Bowie, whatever. Bowie's dead, but I mean, let's call it a Bowie knife then. And I said, "Reuben, are you in cahoots with Dolores?" The rain was coming down like a son of a bitch. The rain was coming down like a son of a bitch. I mean a son of a bitch who wouldn't give you a salami cheese ham sandwich with pimento and pickle if he was leaving you for life. A son of a bitch who wouldn't lend you a nickel if you were dead broke. A son of a bitch who would push you off a bridge. A son of a... Anyway, you get the idea. Reuben was a son of a bitch. He was in cahoots with Dolores. The whole thing was a goddamn scam just to get my balls in my throat. And the rain came down even harder. Uber Eats was not easy.
And thanks for joining us on another Driving in the Rain with Edward Pepperino.